All right, so let's talk about this Robert Pattinson footage. First of all, very unexpected. Second of all, I definitely thought this was Daredevil.
Dude, who
when
didn't?
It started, I was like,
this intro.
did I click on the wrong link?
You didn't think it was Daredevil?
I didn't make the connection until people until I saw it started.
So what were your initial thoughts as you were starting to watch this?
My initial thoughts were
before the Batman reveal.
Oh, before the logo?
Yeah, before you even realized that it was a logo. You were just confused?
Because you were like, check out this Batman thing. I clicked
it was
on it.
like
Gotcha, so I was like, oh, this is Batman.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking.
Yeah. So you sent that to us, and I was like, why is he sending us Daredevil stuff?
That was so funny, too, because I was like, we got to make a video about this. And you were like, what? I
was
like, what? What do you mean?
I'm like, this looks like the intro of Daredevil on Netflix. What are you talking about?
I know.
But, no, this is way, way cool. It's reminiscent of the Joker's, the first images we saw of the Joker.
Well, they've done it now with the Joker movie.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, and now they've done it with this.
This is great.
Didn't they do that technically with Deathstroke? And Ben Affleck was doing
a
camera test for the Batman movie years ago.
I think it was after Batman vs. Superman came out.
Yeah.
But it was like before they started shooting Justice League.
Yeah. And it was Joe Manganiello walking down the steps.
Yeah.
Right.
People were like, oh, shit.
Yep.
So that is to say, I've been fooled by test footage before. Not to say that this isn't entirely cool, because it is. And the music by Michael Giacchino. That I immediately, my ears were like, that's Giacchino.
I wasn't 100% sure if it was a cue that had come from some other Giacchino soundtrack, but then I was listening to it and I'm like, this sounds very specific to be from something else. And then he did, on his Twitter, he confirmed that, like, this is my original, like, what will eventually become the Batman theme in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been pointing out right off the bat, the bat signal. Some people were saying it was an homage to Detective Comics 1000, where Batman melts the gun that kills his parents, and he actually uses it as like a bulletproof plate underneath the shield.
Okay.
I don't really personally think it looks like a gun of any sort. I was thinking first, I thought, well, it looks like it could be like grappling guns that he can use to grapple around, because it has like belt clips.
It's
or
a
hooks.
very distinct split pattern in the middle too. Yeah, I could see that.
The other thing I thought was like, oh, maybe it's like two batarangs or something. Like it looks like it's some sort of like a weapon,
right? Because
that
would
put
be
together or something.
That would make sense, because one giant. So traditionally, the batarangs we've seen from Batman are not giant. Yeah, they're not this big.
In the video games, they're huge.
Right, they actually are really big
like
in the
boomerangs.
video games. That's very true. What sticks out to me about this is how lean and cut up he is. Like he looks strong, but also very, very lean, like wiry, like a rookie in his rookie year of basketball.
Yeah,
like not necessarily big and bulky yet,
sure.
not necessarily like weathered. Probably still real ambitious, real wiry, trying to get out there and prove something.
I mean, he's technically older than what Christian Bale was when he did Batman Begins. And Batman Begins, I feel like, was going for that bigger, bulkier, like,
of course, absolutely.
Bigger Batman. And Christian Bale can do it. But I'm also very okay with them kind of embracing, and I think it's different than the 90s movies. Like, the 90s movies had a varying range of, like, a very slim Batman and somewhat of a bulkier Batman with Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
But I think it's totally okay for him. If he's going to be very athletic and ninja-like, I think it's totally okay for him to be, like, lean and cut.
Absolutely.
And I think Neil Adams, he drew Batman very much, like, leaner, and he was mostly just, like, toned.
Like
an
more
acrobat.
athletic. More athletic rather than a bodybuilder.
And I know, like,
acrobat for sure.
I think, like, a year ago, or maybe it was, like, around the time they cast Pattinson, I remember going up on Twitter and saying, like, yo, not every Batman has to look like Ben Affleck.
I know.
Absolutely.
Like, I think for the Dark Knight Returns style of Batman, he was perfect for that.
Yeah, I agree. That was a good body type.
Yeah. And they've been saying that this Batman, the story might be taking place in his, like, second year as a crime fighter. So he's really early on in his career.
Yeah.
So I think, like, he can look leaner and younger, more youthful. And then as he ages, he can sort of get bigger and bulkier and beefier.
What do you guys think about the color? It's red.
The red?
Not traditionally a color that is used for Batman.
Yeah. I think it's trying to lean into that detective noir tone. Instead of just being black and white, I think they just did a singular color to really show, like, we're going into this, like, noir story. Could it be a symbolization of a particular villain that he might face, or a particular, I don't know, color that might accentuate some sort of story element, maybe, but I really think it was just to set the tone and to be like, it's a detective and it's noir.
Here's what
it feels very much like it.
Here's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
We just watched Birds of Prey, and that movie is set in a specific continuity, in a specific timeline, in a universe where some things have happened and maybe other things people aren't aware of, but they probably still happened, you know.
Right.
If Harley Quinn was talking about Joker, and the last time we saw Harley Quinn was Suicide Squad, so that means that the Batman of that universe is Ben Affleck, which means that Aquaman in that movie probably happened. Which mean, you know, we know what that means, those 8 movies. The question about this is this going to be a movie that fits into that world, or is this going to be like Joaquin Phoenix Joker, where it's a one-off called The Batman, and it's like, are they planning to do sequels to it? Maybe, maybe not. Are they, you know, I mean, I would assume maybe, because
Reeves,
Batman is such a cash cow. And Matt Reeves is good at sequels. He's done the Apes movies, and they've been really, really good, and they've built on one another.
Yeah.
But that question of, what does this mean to the larger DC universe?
Yeah, from what I remember, them saying was Matt Reeves really wanted to do a trilogy. He didn't want to be beholden to what was already set up by other creators and other directors.
Sure.
So I think the idea is that this Batman, like Joker, will exist in his own universe. That doesn't necessarily mean that other DC heroes couldn't eventually show up in it, but I think for now it's establishing.
So would it be a new continuity then? Because
I mean,
you're
for
saying,
this movie, yes.
Right. So for this one, I believe so.
So for this movie, yes.
Could he have his own Superman in the future?
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
Because you just described, like, cool, Warner Brothers is going to do another Christopher Nolan trilogy, which effectively means you are preventing certain characters, Batman, Catwoman, Barbara Gordon, from interacting with other elements of the DC universe, like potentially, right?
Sure.
Like, does it mean that if this movie ever gets to Poison Ivy, that we won't see Poison Ivy interact with Harley Quinn, that sort of thing? Or will there be different versions of the character?
I guess the bigger question in terms of that is, what do they do with Ben Affleck's Batman?
Right.
If Ben Affleck is like, I'm good, I don't want to be this character anymore, then do you just recast him for your shared continuity universe?
Or is your shared continuity universe already, like,
too far gone?
I mean, not too far gone, but again, if that Batman is 25 years old in 1994 when he was supposed to first be active, so that means in 2004 he's 35, in 2014 he's 45, in 2024 he's going to be 55. So, like, do you want an actor do you recast him and just go, okay, but our Batman's still active, but he's in his mid-50s? Or do you say, that section of our universe that story's told, and now we're bringing in Nightwing and, you know, other, Batgirl or Batwoman or, you know, whatever. Or do you then go back in time and do a movie set in the 90s just to be able to back up the Ben Affleck version of? And I feel like, why would you do that? Because you're already doing this. Any reason to do that ultimately would come down to, well, we want to tell a good Batman story. It seems like you can do that here, and they're doing that here.
Right.
So, again, I want to see this movie. I cannot wait to see this movie. I cannot wait to see a good Batman movie. I cannot wait to see these great actors play these roles. But I cannot help but, as a DC Comics book fan, feel like, what's the plan, guys? What's going on? Because we've done this already. And we got a great Christopher Nolan trilogy out of it. And I really like elements of it. I really love parts of it. But I still want to see things from the DC universe that I have not seen on screen yet.
Well, I think this is one way of doing it. The only issue is that it's not in that continuity.
Right.
So it's very possible, like, if these movies do well, if people, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix got his Oscar. And he also won that film. What was that other film festival?
Golden Lion.
Dude, he's won every award.
The Golden. He won the Golden Lion.
The movie won the Golden Lion.
Right. Yeah. And so, look, if anything, this is giving Warner Brothers more confidence into doing movies that are maybe more director driven. Which looks like what's happening here. Like, granted, Birds of Prey isn't doing phenomenal at the box office. That is a very uniquely told, unique story, and I think it's a great movie. I have a feeling they're going to follow suit with a movie like this and not even worry about continuity. Like, we will get there when we get there.
We'll worry about continuity.
We'll worry about continuity.
Then if that's the case, then I would just say then to Warner Brothers, fuck it, like, go for it. And
that's what they're doing.
And by that I mean, do not let yourself get hung up on, well, we can't do Oracle because we haven't done Batgirl.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Well,
we can't just do a Nightwing movie without any context.
Right.
Fuck it. If you guys are not concerned with a shared universe, which fine, you're a movie studio, and why would you care? I'm the one that's just thinking about this because it's that potentiality.
Absolutely.
Because I want to be able to get to a point where something like Jason Todd Red Hood can come back, just like Winter Soldier.
Right.
Why was the Winter Soldier thing in the MCU a big deal? Because we'd seen him in another movie. Like, it builds and builds and builds. So if I'm trying to get to those moments in the DC universe, if I want to get to a movie like Blackest Night and actually have it mean something with Green Lantern fighting zombified versions of characters or the Sinestro Corps War or whatever, this big epic things, Darkseid, whatever.
Even a cinematic crisis.
If y'all are not concerned with that, then I would just say, then just skip to my Lou, my darling. Just get to it.
Just get to the
Give
good
me
stuff.
Oracle in the next Birds of Prey movie. Do not say, well, we didn't do better. Like, just do it. Just do a Nightwing movie. Who cares? Have a new actor play Batman in that movie. I don't give a shit. Give me Nightwing. Just do Martian Manhunter. No context. Just do Plastic Man. Oh, but, normally in the story, like, he's one of the, random criminals that Batman fights, and then he gets knocked into it and turns into Plastic Man. Who cares? Bring in another actor to play Batman again. I don't care. I just want these movies of other characters. Not that I don't want to, of course I want to see Batman, but again, even when it comes to Batman.
But I don't want Batman to be the only bread and butter.
Give me Mr. Freeze. Give me Killer Croc.
Yeah.
And if you're like, well, we did Killer Croc and Suicide Squad, I don't care then. Give me a new actor playing Killer Croc.
Clayface, Man-Bat. There's still so many
mission,
great villains that we haven't seen.
If that's the mission, I think it would be great and really ballsy and kind of insane if Warner Brothers officially announced, like, this is our plan now.
I don't think they're going to
keep doing Margot Robbie, whatever. But and if we ever want Margot Robbie to face off against this Batman, we'll do it because we don't even care.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fine. Go ahead.
Look,
make my head hurt with continuity. Just do it.
I think honestly, if you really go back and look at it, we have the 10 years of Marvel that is probably not going to be recreated even by Marvel again. They're not going to do the same thing.
Their next 10 years will be a different 10 years.
There's no reason.
They might be going like movie.
There's no reason for DC to go back to Iron Man 1 times.
I get it.
And try to rebuild this whole universe.
You're right.
It's like, just go. We're in a different era of comic book movies at this point, and we're smart enough to understand.
Every studio has tried to do the shared universe thing and flopped.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We've seen it.
Even Star Wars, to a certain extent, like
absolutely.
Some movies great, other movies not so much, some in the middle.
Clearly, we have the shining example with Marvel.
Yeah.
These guys have Warner Brothers right now has the bank of probably the greatest collection of superheroes.
They own every single one of them.
They own all of them, all under one label
for 50 years.
Let's get these movies out and have them be like this, like director-driven, passion-fueled.
Yeah.
Just explorations of the characters that we love so much.
Look, in the perfect universe, I would love for Robert Pattinson's Batman to, in some way, mix in with Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Will it happen? Who freaking knows, man?
Yeah. And in a perfect world, I would have loved for Ben Affleck to play the character successfully.
Longer. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And another perfect world, I think the reason I also feel this way now versus in 2016 when we got Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, it felt like every comic book movie up to this point has been a compromise. Fans are used to that word, compromise. It's like you get something you want and you get another thing that's like, this is the movie version. It's not. Batman versus Superman, the conversation then was, you can't start the universe with an older Batman. You're missing out on those stories, and the ages are weird, and all those characters, and you've already got a Robin dead, but which Robin is it? And where's the rest of the characters? Where's Barbara Gordon? Where's blah, 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 blah. And I think my frustration then was, again, that like if you guys are saying you're planning out the world, this feels like you're trying to jump the gun. But now, and the other thing too is that version of the character of Batman then, to my mind, meant you could never do this.
Right.
Because I'm like, why would you do two competing? But if that doesn't matter now, and we're still getting a version like this, or even Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which I didn't love, but at least it's a new, I'm like,
take.
We just had Jared Leto, and now they're going to do a whole movie, and it's not Jared Leto. Like, if that is the case, then I think now all bets are off, and I'm kind of I'm on board with the whole like, then just do it, but just do not just the bread and butter. I love him. I love my boy Bruce Wayne, but like do other DC characters that deserve those projects.
I agree, 100%.
Pooch for Booster.
Pooch for Booster. And again, and part of the reason I love Birds of Prey is because it is a sequel to Suicide Squad with a version of Harley Quinn that was not the most fun to watch because she was still in love with Joker. Boom. Then you get the version where she's emancipated. So I still want to be able to get to like the evolutionary chain of these characters.
Yeah.
I
think that's possible. I think that's very possible. But I just think it's not going to be just a giant 10-year span.
For sure. I don't think so either.
For sure.
3-movie arc, done.
Yeah.
Let's call it quits. Move on.
You're
right. Some interesting things to point out about this costume, too, that people have been saying is, like, obviously sort of shoulders and chest area, which is really the only thing we see.
That's all we see.
It's very armored up, obviously, because
highly
he has
armored.
to be.
Like the Arkham games.
Yeah. Which, like, I dig. I think the suit in those Arkham series is great for that game, for what it is. And then the mask is also very interesting because it's got this very hand-stitched quality to it.
Yeah.
And it's different than other masks that we've seen. Robert Pattinson has a very angular face. That jaw looks
He's got the bad jaw.
He looks pizza chef in that.
If I was stuffed into that thing, it would look like pizza coming out.
I got pepperonis coming out. Just cheese dripping over the edges.
Dough,
Not this man. This man's got that jaw.
He's got that jaw.
But it definitely has like a very hand-stitched quality. And I think also we're very much used to the Batman mask having very defined angles for features like brows and the cheeks and even the nose. This doesn't really have that. Like, this doesn't even have the bottom flap to cover the nose.
This looks like a masquerade map.
Mask.
Yeah.
And it looks like pointy-ish from the side on the profile. But it also has, like, it still does have, like, a rounded quality. I like that it's playing with, like, Batman in different angles. And I'm curious to see how the light is sort of going to reflect off of his cowl and the rest of his suit.
Also,
it's a little bit
we
of collar
got
action.
Collar action going
which
here.
we had a little bit of in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
This is
but
pronounced,
this is, like,
though.
very
This is
pronounced.
like, this is almost like
Fonzie.
Neck protection.
It
I
is.
would say.
Yeah.
Also, notice we have no ears.
No ears.
No ears whatsoever.
I have two things that I think that
short.
I'm thinking they're either going to be like Ben Affleck-ish short, or they're going to go very like
old
1939
school.
long ears,
like the ones that kind of like go out a little bit.
Ooh, like a little Batman Beyond.
A little bit. Like I'm curious what they're going to sort of embrace with this, and obviously my big thing too that I love to sort of debate is like, how big and wide is the cape going to be?
Right.
Like, can he wrap himself up in it completely? Is it going to be a little bit more, not as like big and bulky?
Here we have a
little bit
of blur on the ears.
Maybe they'll be a little rounded. Who knows?
I don't know what
it could be. Really
might
cool,
be
though.
long. I have a feeling because of this. I have a feeling they're long.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been pointing out this feels like a great sort of callback to 1939, 1940s Batman.
Yes.
Lee Bermejo's Batman.
Adam West Batman.
Adam West.
Gotham by Gaslight.
Batman.
The Arkham video game series.
Yeah, like there's a lot of little elements being brought into this. So I don't know.
Man.
I mean, as a first look, like, I am excited. I did hope and think that we were going to get white lenses. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but maybe
who knows,
someday.
Dude? Who knows? Because
maybe at the end of the movie.
Yeah, maybe at the end of the movie something will happen. But you never know, dude.
You know what they might even just do is, like, they might also just say, fuck it, and they'll have a scene where he gets up in a shadow and they'll do some fake, movie thing. Magic to make it look like, oh my God, his eyes are glowing, pure white.
Like,
he really is a bat.
It is a fantasy. Like, they could just kind of push it to try to get closer to. It's the same as Deadpool, who just has the comic book eyes that are so expressive, but it's a mask.
Now Spider-Man has it.
And now Spider-Man, but that's still tech.
Right.
That's still like a tech explanation.
Yeah. But Deadpool's is just like, it's a mask.
Deadpool's is just a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, my eyes are white.
Just emote.
Yeah.
Just emote.
I know,
so
which I think is really cool.
I don't think they're going to go that far, but
no.
I just rewatched Cloverfield a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and I really like Cloverfield.
Oh, yeah, man.
And I love Matt Reeves' Apes movies. I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is like
those bad boys in 3D are.
Yeah, and War is so good. So I cannot wait to see this guy take on like one of the best mythologies. It's going to be so dope.
I'm in.
I'm very excited also because, yes, we've seen Catwoman and Riddler before and Penguin, but we haven't seen some of those characters since the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to see, and we've had them in TV shows and stuff, but I'm really excited to see what somebody like Colin Farrell can do with Penguin, what Paul Dano will do with Edward Nashton, Zoe Kravitz with Catwoman. I'm super excited for Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon. Like, what an amazing cast of actors. And I'm sure we'll start to get more and more actors announced as we get through production. And obviously Andy Serkis as Alfred excites me so much because I'm like, this is going to be a youthful, probably badass.
Oh, that's right. Andy Serkis is Alfred.
Yeah, man. Like, I would love to see them doing like training sequences together.
Absolutely.
And I really hope he's like that SS version of Alfred, who's like, he's still like, Andy Serkis is still a pretty young guy. Playing that role. So I'm super pumped for that. And also, the timeline obviously being like a 2 years into his crime fighting stuff, there's a lot of things that you can pull from.
Man, I hope the end of this movie is like, we have tickets to the circus, sir. Like, I hope it's like, we're going to do Robin in the next one. Like, you're going to full on do Robin. I would be like, oh, my God.
I think it'd be really cool if finally, like, we get a Batman movie that does the origin of Robin.
Yeah, man.
And we haven't had it since 1995. And I would like to see someone younger.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
If this goes past 3 movies, it would be cool to maybe see other versions of the character.
I agree.
Yes. Guys, let us know in the comments below what you thought about this first look at Robert Pattinson as the Batman, and what other comic book references you hope to see in this movie, and any other costumes that you think this might be referencing. Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe for more videos. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.